Good day. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okuru. Resident doctors across Nigeria have embarked on a nationwide indefinite strike action. President of the National Association of Resident Doctors, Onyebueze John, announced the industrial action at the end of its leadership meeting held on Monday. Barely 48 hours ago, the doctors met with Nigeria's Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, to resolve the issue. The doctors are demanding unpaid salaries earned in both federal and state health institutions. Other issues are enrollment of resident doctors into the Integrated Personal Payroll Information System since 2003 and non-implementation of Adjusted House Officers Entry Grade Level Equivalent since 2014. The Nigerian Air Force has joined in assisting those affected by the horrifying floods in Benue State. It has commenced offering medical aid to flood victims in the state. Air Force spokesman Olatokunbo Adesonya in a statement said the program is part of the command's corporate social responsibility. Over 120,000 people have been displaced in more than 24 communities in the state following heavy rainfall and flooding in the region. Now, not everyone is satisfied with how the government is handling the floods in Benue State. Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, says the state and federal government need to be more proactive to curtail flood disasters in the country. PDP also condemned the response of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. The party also sympathized with the government and people of Benue State. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige says negotiation between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU will resume after the Eid al-Kabir festival. In a statement, the minister said the meeting would hold shortly after the holidays as requested by the leadership of ASU. He also dispelled speculations of uncertainty over talks between the federal government and the union. University lecturers have been on strike for over 2 weeks now due to the government's failure to honor past agreements with ASU and other welfare demands. The Kogi state government has confirmed a new case of Lassa fever in the state. The case was discovered at the Federal Medical Center in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital. Head of Clinical Services at the hospital, Jones Taiwo, confirmed the incident, saying a sample test was carried out on the patient who came from Owo in Ondo State and it showed positive of Lassa fever. He says the government is working towards tracing those who may have had contact with the patient. Police in Imo State have confirmed the kidnap and murder of a Catholic priest in the southeastern state. Reverend Father Syriacus Onunkwo was reportedly abducted from his vehicle in Olu on Friday morning by unknown gunmen. Following a manhunt, his body was discovered in a nearby bush on Saturday. No arrests have been so far made, but police say they are doing all they can to find the killers. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed says reports of a planned visit to the United States by President Muhammadu Buhari is fake. He says the news is being circulated by a fake Twitter account accredited to him. Over the weekend, a Twitter account in the name of the Information Minister reported President Buhari is due to leave Nigeria for the U.S. on Monday to condole with President Trump over the floods in Houston. The report generated a lot of backlash on social media for the Nigerian government. The wife of Nigeria's President Aisha Buhari has called on parents and guardians to support their children in whatever profession they choose to do. Her daughter Hanan Buhari recently opened a 3-day photo exhibition in Abuja, the nation's capital, and she was there to support her. Also present at the exhibition were top government officials, including Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. Titled Vangi, the showcase is Hanan Buhari's first solo exhibition ever created.
Endorsement from the highest court that the creative industry is that area of our economy which we have not really paid enough attention to. And it is the only industry in the world that appreciates. There's never a period where a work of art will lose value. On the contrary, it appreciates in value every day. But when we talk about the creative industry in Nigeria, what do we have today? We've had governments that have been paying what I call lip service to the creative industry. But we have this administration that has actually moved the creative industry from the back burner to the front burner.
First of all, for parents to support their children, and also, like I've said earlier on, the government should work very hard to make sure that they concentrate on vocational schools as well, not only the conventional schools. Sure, it is, and it will be, and it's the best thing for the society, you know, to engage the youth, especially on skills.
I started getting inspired when I was studying media, and I saw the different works and different moments that people could capture with photography. I also wanted to take my part to also show people the other side of Nigeria that people don't see. When I take my work back to uni, they don't always see it. So my work is unique, it stands out, it has a different definition and it has a different style.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is accusing former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, of making efforts to stall the confiscation of his assets in the United Kingdom. In 2012, a UK court convicted Ibori of money laundering with most of his property in the country risking confiscation. He, however, appealed that conviction. In the latest edition of its monthly media publication, EFCC Alert, the anti-graft agency says Ibori is on a campaign targeted at UK police officers in retaliation of his conviction. 3 of 4 police officers dismissed from the Nigerian police force last July have petitioned the Inspector General of the Nigerian police force over what they describe as their unlawful and illegal dismissal. The police officers accused the Police Service Commission of not giving them any fair hearing. The officers were dismissed for extortion. They were charged, tried and found guilty in an orderly room trial for extorting 50,000 naira from a member of the public.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. 2 of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so...
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next, we have business news with Fidelia Aguncha.
Thank you, Thelma. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says it has stabilized the prices of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, and liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, nationwide. Spokesman of the state oil firm Ndu Ugamadu, in a statement released over the weekend, said this was achieved through sustained strategic intervention in the efficient supply and distribution of petroleum products. Ugamadu said a national survey by the NNPC indicated that in the last few weeks, the price of petrol has fallen steadily from 145 per litre to between 142 and 143 per litre in some stations across the country. The survey also showed a similar trend of drop in the prices of cooking gas. Benchmark U.S. gasoline prices slumped on Monday to pre-Hurricane Harvey levels as oil refineries and pipelines in the U.S. Gulf Coast slowly resumed activities, easing supply concerns. Brent crude also fell 31 cents at $52.44 a barrel, while U.S. crude surged by 13 cents at $47.42 a barrel as U.S. refineries recovered from the effect of Hurricane Harvey. That's all on business. More stories coming up. Do stay tuned.
was a very good business. Yeah. The furniture you brought was very perfect.
Yeah, that's how we roll.
Let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people. Make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Officials in Kenya say a fire that killed 9 students and injured several others at a girls' school over the weekend was started deliberately. Kenya's Education Minister Fred Matiang'i says the incident at Moa Girls' School in the capital Nairobi was not an accident but arson. He revealed there has been a spate of similar attacks on schools in different parts of Kenya. The attacks were linked to disputes over senior appointments in the school. UN investigators have accused Burundi's government of crimes against humanity, including executions and torture. The UN has now urged the International Criminal Court to open a case on this as soon as possible. The United Nations Commission of Inquiry on Burundi says it had reasonable grounds to believe crimes against humanity have been committed and continue to be committed in Burundi. It also points fingers at the highest level of the state. Burundi plunged into a political crisis in 2015 when President Pierre Nkurunziza decided to run for a third term his opponents say was unconstitutional. Between 500 and 2,000 people have been killed in the country so far, according to UN and NGO sources. Former captain of Nigeria's basketball team Olumide Oyedeji is hosting the 18th edition of his summer basketball camp. The star athlete says he intends to use basketball to educate and develop Nigerian youths interested in the sports. The camp is open to children between the ages of 7 and 18 and takes place at the indoor sports hall of the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. With one goal, one passion, they have all gathered here. Over 150 youths have enrolled in this year's summer basketball camp to sharpen their talents and even go on to become the next big stars in basketball. All seated, they pay close attention to top Nigerian basketballer Olumide Oyedeji. He is sponsoring the camp to refine the skills of these young players.
Probably just giving back to the underprivileged kids and empower the youth through basketball and use the basketball as a tool, encourage them, educate them mentally, socially, emotionally, intellectually, and just get a sense of belonging and teach them rudiment of basketball.
The camp in its 18th edition is open to those between the ages of 7 to 18. They are expected to get instruction from top coaches in basketball, in addition to learning about leadership and character development. The students are also taken through various basketball techniques to hone their skills. This clinic is scheduled to hold for just 4 days, and though the time seems very short, the participants are fully aware of its immense benefits.
Certainly, yes, I've faced some challenges. It's been no cakewalk. You know, from the 3-on-3 contest to the 5-on-5, it's been one competition after another. And with the help of God and my teammates, we've been scaling through. Not because we're better than them, but maybe we did something special, you know. So the camp has been fun all through. I've gotten to meet new people from neighboring countries, people from Lagos, and people from neighboring states. So it's just been a wonderful experience. I'm having fun.
This clinic is famed for producing big names, such as the former captain of the Nigerian women's basketball team, Rashidat Sadiq, dance sensation Kafi, and a member of the victorious the Tigresses team, Uju Ugoka. As Nigerians continue to reel from the recent success of the Tigresses at the African Basketball Championship, there is hope that one of these youngsters will lead Nigeria to become champions of the world. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has called off its final inspection visit to Kenya to assess preparations for the 2018 African Nations Championship. A delegation was expected in Nairobi on September 7th, but the current political situation in the country following the Supreme Court's decision to annul the results of last month's presidential poll has cast doubt over the country's chances of hosting the 16-team tournament. A rerun of the presidential election has been ordered within the next 60 days, triggering the likelihood of intense political activity in the country over the next 2 months. The Spanish Football League wants UEFA to investigate whether Manchester City has broken financial fair play rules. European football's governing body is already investigating if Paris Saint-Germain have broken rules designed to stop clubs from financial doping. Spanish League President Javier Tebas said in a statement that Abu Dhabi-funded City and Qatari-owned PSG are benefiting from state aid, which distorts European competitions and is irreparably harming the football industry. Well, that's all we have on News Now. Thanks for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.